president who is not going to speak that way, this projects our image all around the world. And it's an awful image to project, to be saying those things. And like I said, it doesn't lead to fixing the problems. You know, when I travel around to talk to voters, what they're most upset about is the government's not fixing their problems. When they see the fiasco on Capitol Hill this week with Kevin McCarthy being vacated from the speakership, and then they hear Donald Trump maybe wants to become speaker, then he doesn't. I mean, that kind of circus doesn't lead to the world or people inside our own country feeling like our government is serious and seriously trying to solve the huge problems we have with law and order, with immigration, with inflation, with educational standards being diminished. There are big problems in this country we have to deal with. And rhetoric like that is not only divisive and ugly, it is counterproductive to us getting the job done.
On the subject of immigration, how would you secure the border while ensuring that any migrant who is legally able to seek asylum is able to do so, and making sure that these individuals are treated humanely if they are able to legally seek asylum?
Well, you know, for the people who all say, I'm going to secure the border and make it stronger, but don't say anything beyond that, once again, they're selling out in a way that is just pandering to people and their rightful concerns about the border. So let's talk about it, Jake. Over the last 11 months, the average has been 200,000 apprehensions at the border by Customs and Border Patrol. You know how many beds we have for people who we want to detain? 38,000 total. And we have 200,000 a month people being apprehended. We can't fix this problem right now that way, so we need to do a combination of things. I'd double the number of beds that we had available to detain people. I would triple the number of immigration judges that we have to move these asylum hearings along much more quickly. And I'd add 10,000 Customs and Border Patrol officers, and on day one sign an executive order to send National Guard down there to help supplement them, especially on the issue of drugs getting across our border, since we had 110,000 people die last year of overdose. That's where you start. And then, Jake, we have to get to a merit-based immigration system where we incentivize filling the 6 million open jobs we have in this country with people who want to come here and work, and we pick them on merit. The places where we need help, we bring people in legally to be able to fill those jobs and help to grow our economy. That all in combination will help to secure the border because it will disincentivize illegal crossings. We'll get those people processed much more quickly. We won't just release them for 4 or 5 years. That's the stuff we need to do, Jim. And that's a realistic plan as opposed to shooting people stone cold dead.
Right. Another comment from Mr. Trump. Republican presidential candidate, former... oh, no, I'm sorry. That's a comment from Governor DeSantis.
That was Ron DeSantis.
Sometimes forget. Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Up next, the other B word, the one that President Biden likes to use. Stay with us.
This morning we learned. If we want a more viable future for our kids, we need to find more sustainable ways of doing things. America's plastic makers are investing billions of dollars in new technologies and creating plastic products that are more recyclable, durable, and dependable. Our goal is a cleaner, healthier planet for generations to come. For a better tomorrow, we're focused on making plastics better today.
A lot of people need to replace their windows or patio doors, but they put it off because they think it'll be too expensive. Hi, I'm Ann Romer. I'm here with Michael Smith from Renewal by Andersen. You really work with the customers to find affordable solutions.
We do, Ann. We're the replacement window division of Andersen, one of the largest window manufacturers in North America. So we can usually offer our customers larger discounts and better financing than smaller companies or contractors.
Other window companies don't offer your same window and door installation method.
Our installers have installed thousands of windows. Our windows are manufactured to precisely fit your specific window openings. Being custom built also means if you have any beautiful trim that you'd like to keep, we can often install your windows without impacting that trim. You won't get this with most vinyl windows.
And you offer a free window and patio door diagnosis?
We do. We'll come to your home and assess your current windows, show you where you might be losing energy, and take measurements. Then we'll leave you with an exact price quote that's good for an entire year.
So you're not a high-pressure company?
My background is in home remodeling as a carpenter. I've seen every window problem out there. So now I just want to help homeowners make their homes more beautiful and comfortable with the right window.
And your patio doors are really gorgeous.
They are, and they're engineered to easily open and close for years. And with multiple locking points on our patio doors, they provide even greater security.
That is so great to hear, Michael. Thank you.
Before October 31st, buy one window, patio door, or entry door and get the next one 40% off. That's 40% off with a minimum purchase of 4. And our financing can help make this project more affordable with zero money down, zero monthly payments, and zero interest for 1 year. This offer ends October 31st. For a free appointment with Renewal by Andersen, call 1-800-501-1400. That's 1-800-501-1400.
She runs and plays like a puppy again.
His number twos are perfect. He's a brand new dog all in less than a year.
When people switch their dog's food from kibble to the farmer's dog, they often say that it feels like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply fresh meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of dried pellets. Just food made for the health of dogs, delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do.
What a view!
This is amazing.
The family road trip through Spain is just getting started. Next stop, Madrid.
We are eating history. This is a perfection.
Jose Andres and family in Spain. New episode, Sunday at 9, CNN.
The power goes out, and we still have Wi-Fi to do our homework. And that's a good thing? Great in my book. Who are you?
No power, no problem. Introducing Storm Ready Wi-Fi. Now you can stay reliably connected through power outages with unlimited cellular data and up to 4 hours of battery backup to keep you online. Only from Xfinity, home of the Xfinity 10G network. Learn more today.
Possibly consistent with multiple temporary hideouts.
The power goes out, and we still have Wi-Fi to do our homework. And that's a good thing? Great in my book. Who are you?
No power, no problem. Introducing Storm Ready Wi-Fi. Now you can stay reliably connected through power outages with unlimited cellular data and up to 4 hours of battery backup to keep you online. Only from Xfinity, home of the Xfinity 10G network. Learn more today.
You're such a good boy.
I'm Priscilla Alvarez at the White House, and this is CNN.
Whatever. In our 2024 lead, cue the music. Yes. Yes. It's election night in America. Not yet, but it will be. President Joe Biden is trying to make the sell again on the economy. The White House has been pushing the Bidenomics message for months now. Voters don't appear to be buying it yet. 52% say they would trust Trump more on the economy. Only 28% would trust Biden more. Those are not good numbers for President Biden. President Biden says the media is part of the problem.
You all are not the happiest people in the world. What you reported. And I mean it sincerely. It gets them more, you get more legs when you report something's negative.
I'm one of the happiest people in the world. That's not fair. I'm very happy. But the point he's making, the new jobs report, is very positive. A strong jobs market, however, means that the Federal Reserve might continue to increase interest rates because they're no longer afraid of sending the economy into a recession by doing so. And so, many in the White House today criticizing CNN's framing in this article, which is on the CNN homepage. Still, the article says, it's an analysis. Here's why the shockingly good jobs report is going to cost you. By the way, it's an accurate analysis, but I get it. You don't like it. You think we're nasty. Our panel is here to discuss. Karen Finney.
Yes.
Have at it.
Happy.
I know you're happy.
You're happy.
You're happy. I get it. We jump on the negative. It's our job. But it is true that a positive jobs report means that the Fed is not worried, won't worry as much. It might continue to raise interest rates, and people are going to continue to feel squeezed by both inflation and high interest rates.
And unfortunately, that is part of the upside down world we find ourselves in, this economic situation. It is also why we had a summer of workers calling for higher wages and striking to get them, because the reality is, yes, job creation is very strong. Yes, a lot of the traditional economic indicators look good, but costs are not keeping up with wages. We know that. At the same time, if I were...
Wages are not keeping up with costs.
Yeah, well, sorry. Yeah, the other way around.
Pink cat is a gentle giant.
But what I would also say is, I would
He had an
also
attitude
lead
that
with reminding people that part of what
He does. He just has a gentle giant
was to
attitude.
continue to control the things that he can. So we reduce costs.
He does get pretty mad sometimes.
You know, and Build Back Better that didn't get passed. We had childcare. We had paid family leave. These are issues that are affecting American people, that are affecting their daily lives. The president can't control a lot of costs. Talk about what you can control, and that is part of the rationale for re-election.
I think media criticism is always valid, but one of the things you have to remember is it's a terrible message, and that's one of the biggest problems that the White House has right now. It's really getting strong offensive message about the economy, and one of the things that's challenging there is that, you know, to sort of a draw on another phrase is that public opinion doesn't have a law degree. Well, it doesn't have an economics degree either. It's all about how people feel. And right now, they just feel like with inflation and high gas prices, that the economy's not tracking in the right direction.
No, it's a great point, because I was watching, I used to work at a network once upon a time down the street lines with Rock's Business, and they were talking about, earlier today, with Tom had on the jobs report, and 336,000 new jobs added. They're trying to poke holes in it. Now, the biggest hole for me that you poke in it is, look at the industries where the job growth is coming into: leisure and hospitality, government, healthcare. What about folks in the media sector that have been laid off at big companies, things like that? So there are other sectors that are having issues right now. That's where you can kind of poke holes in it. But like you were mentioning, the messaging part of this, we were talking about this in the agreement. Democrats can't seem to get the messaging part of this right on this.
Also, I mean, gas prices are actually technically going down. And I think they may be below $3.50 or $3.20 a gallon by the end of October. At least that's the projections. So there are some other good economic indicators for the president, but they aren't, in terms of the messaging. Some Democrats I've talked to have said, you know, maybe he needs to start the campaign earlier, which is that right now the president's, the campaign's position is that they aren't going to actually go out and enforce until early next year, potentially March of next year. And he's going out in his presidential capacity, but he doesn't have surrogates going out there. They're not like full force making the campaign or
I 100% agree with that. They should be campaigning right now because everywhere else it's starting.
Yeah, that's a good
point. Expedite the inevitable.
Speaking of the campaign, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis taking advantage of all the chaos among House Republicans as a way of contrasting himself. Take a listen.
Thank you for your assistance.
What they have in D.C. is theatrics, it's performative, but it doesn't actually produce results for people. In Florida, I'm a leader. I'm not an entertainer.
Well, you got that last part right. He's not an entertainer, but he's using that to his advantage. He's looking. I mean, he didn't say it, but looking at Matt Gaetz, he's like, well, what are they achieving? I actually, and reducing deficits in Florida, I'm actually achieving stuff, and all of this stuff is just a, clown. He didn't say clown show, but it's a service.
It's the right message. The question I have is it suited? Like, is he doing it at the right time? It might be a little bit too late. This should have been a message that he was carrying from day one, from his announcement all the way through. And that's one of the things that DeSantis has had a problem with in this election.
Well, he didn't know that all of the House Republicans in Florida were going to endorse Trump.
Well, he knew that he was going to be facing Donald Trump, and he knew that he was going to be facing sort of a D.C. He's going to have to run as somebody who's going to be able to change D.C. and finally drain the swamp.
Yeah.
So I think that's the big test right now. Is this a message he's going to stick to all the way through the first caucuses in Iowa? That'll be the test.
So he's also kind of going after Trump on the age thing a little bit. Take a listen. This is him at the end of an event with sheriffs in Florida yesterday.
We need a president that's got energy. We need a president that's going to be full throttle for 8 years. We don't need any more. We don't need any more presidents that have lost the zip on their fastball.
Whoa. The Phillies haven't lost it.
Thank you very much.
I knew that would get in with Jake. I have to pay him. Come on, I love the Phillies. So look, I live in Florida. I'm the Florida resident here, right? DeSantis is incredibly popular in the state, and I would argue it's because of the candidate that ran against him for governor, not because of Ron DeSantis. Back to his policy stuff. I know people that are in teachers union. My mother-in-law's a teacher down there. They love some of the things that he has done for the teachers union. But he does not translate nationally. He has not translated nationally. And I come at this more from the messaging standpoint that we were just talking about with Democrats. Ron DeSantis has a huge issue when it comes to primaries outside of Florida and other states. He is not electable. He just doesn't look, he doesn't come off with that personality. When you just mentioned, Kevin, about him hammering this stuff home from the beginning, like Yogi Berra, it's getting late early. He was a little late to this right now, doing some of this stuff. He should have been doing this stuff months ago, and that's why people have jumped to the 7% like Vivek and
Raising the age issue is something that Nikki Haley has been doing for a long time, and it hasn't helped her, surpass Donald Trump. And I'm really skeptical that it's going to help Ron DeSantis. When we're also then now talking about the age issue with President Biden, which some voters have raised to me that I've talked to. One, again, on their messaging, I'm curious if they're going to lean on what recent generals have talked about, even some of the generals that you've talked to, Jake, which is that they have recently come out saying, look, behind closed doors, Biden has substantive conversations.
Oh, Nelly said this.
Yes.
Nora.
Biden has substantive conversations. He's sharp. He reads all of his material, something that we know Trump didn't do, didn't read his briefing material. And so is the campaign, the Biden campaign, going to lean into and try to market that?
The one quick thing I would say about Trump is he is running his 2016 playbook all over again.
Yeah.
And it seems like the Republicans in this primary are having the same challenges as the Republicans in the primary 2015, 2016 were having. And still no one has really figured out how do you go after him effectively. I mean, Nikki Haley got a little bit of a bump, but not substantially enough to make a difference.
Nobody's voted yet. We'll see what happens.
That's
Stay
right.
tuned. Thanks, everyone. Really appreciate it. Next, a mass exodus that needs the world's attention. CNN's on the ground. How one country's thirst for power has left tens of thousands of innocent people on the run, fearing for their lives. Stay with us.
This is AG1, foundational nutrition to support whole body, brain, and gut health. Vitamins, minerals, pre and probiotics, adaptogens, functional mushrooms, all that and this. Start at drinkag1.com.
Whether you're a professional driver or just a fan, vehicle breakdowns are costly.
It started tugging.
It started making some really weird noises. The last thing I remember is just the engine cut out.
If your check engine light comes on tomorrow, the repair could easily cost thousands.
Here's that transmission.
It's an exhaust leak.
Broken axles.
But with Endurance, you can never pay out of pocket for a costly repair again.
They covered a $14,000
I had a seat sensor that went out, $1,400. Endurance paid it. You got a brand new transmission, and you never seen the repair bill.
Use any certified mechanic you want. Just bring your car in, and Endurance will pay them direct. All major parts are covered.
What I like about Endurance, they don't play games, there's no middleman. They're a solid company. If I didn't have Endurance, I would have paid over $7,000 out of pocket to repair my vehicle. Something is going to break down. Make Endurance pay for it.
With Endurance, your car repair costs go way down, while your car's life expectancy goes way up, allowing you to drive more and pay less.
One claim alone saved me more than $4,000.
I've had 5 claims, and that is $3,500 that I've kept in my pocket.
So, who's going to pay for your next car repair? You or Endurance?
Whether you put 10,000 or 100,000
No, you
miles
can't
on
with
your
your
car,
mouth.
if it's less than 20 years old, Endurance
I said she could with her mouth.
Plus, your plan covers 24/7 roadside assistance anywhere in the country. Call right now and get $300 off any plan, plus a full year of our top-tier elite benefits, a $2,000 value free. And all Endurance plans come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, but you have to act now. Call 1-855-237-0489. That's 1-855-237-0489.
I had 8 UTIs in 1 year. This inspired me and my partner Spencer to launch Eucora. Eucora makes effective urinary tract health products.
It truly works miracles. The peace of mind I've been looking for.
Go to Eucora.com.
Yeah, smells on delivery. Doesn't mean it.
Hello,
I could be at your son.
Anyone, I'd rather have it my side during such an
Which one's on delivery? It's now yellow.
We can
The most news, the most essential stories, and now, with 11 news and documentary Emmy Awards, the most wins of any news organization this year. This is CNN.
When's the last time you had your air ducts cleaned? If you find yourself dusting a lot or want to reduce allergens in your home, it's time for a cleaning from the experts at Modernistic, a team committed to delivering world-class service and meticulous results. Protecting your indoor air quality is simple and quick. Breathe easy with help from Modernistic. Save $75 off air duct cleaning when you schedule at modernistic.com with promo code FRESH.
Football season at PointsBet is now a Fanatics experience. And whether it's a pick six or a game-winning Hail Mary, the only guarantee this season is anything can happen. But the one thing you can count on is PointsBet's Power Up, where every day from 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern, you can claim the same game parlay bonus bet. Xfinity customers, save PointsBet in your voice remote for exclusive offer. Power Up, only on PointsBet by Fanatics. More merch, more rewards, and way more to come. The whole story with Anderson Cooper, Sunday at 8 on CNN.
In our world lead, a mass exodus sparked by fears of ethnic cleansing in a troubled part of the world. The countries of Armenia and Azerbaijan are south of Russia, and they are longtime enemies. This new crisis involves what used to be a self-governing Armenian region inside Azerbaijan called Nagorno-Karabakh. Its self-rule collapsed just more than 2 weeks ago after an attack by Azerbaijan's military. Now, virtually all of its 120,000 residents have packed up and fled, and they're wondering how they're going to survive. CNN's Matthew Chance is in Armenia talking with them, and we need to warn you, some of the video in this report is bloody and disturbing.
This is where the most desperate from Nagorno-Karabakh are surviving, abandoning their livelihoods and homes for the safety of these refugee beds. Entire families have come, like the Vanyans, who say their remote village was bombarded relentlessly by Azeri guns, forcing them to flee. It was so painful to leave, especially for my children, Anida tells me. We were farmers, we had everything, but it was a massive war and we had no choice, she says. In border towns like Goris, where local authorities are distributing basic supplies to evacuees, some have spent a lifetime fighting for a homeland that's now lost.
The Azerbaijani government says that if you live in Nagorno-Karabakh, in Stepanakert, or one of those villages, they will protect your rights. Do you believe them?
They will never protect us. They're lying, Suzanne insists. I'll never forgive them for what they did to us, she adds. There are some with far more than emotional scars. We visited one hospital filled with victims of a makeshift gas station blast in Nagorno-Karabakh, where people have been frantically gathering fuel.
Нормально не ели, они нормально не понимали, какие-то же болезни и все такое.
You can hear screaming now. Stop. The doctor described the carnage. You can hear the screams of agony from the wards.
Okay. Can we get to see that? Not much pain. Knock the motherfucker out. Put him in a coma.
Покажи, пожалуйста. Давай.
That's one less rift to worry about. Let's
There's
regroup
a
with the market.
horrific story of pain and loss. 25-year-old Victor asked us to hide the burns on his face. It was like hell, he told me, and now I don't want anyone to see. His friend Mikhail says he lost 5 members of his family in the chaotic evacuation from Nagorno-Karabakh. But no one seems to care, he told me. When it comes to us, I think the world must be blind.
Well, Jake, it is painful to watch what these people have been going through. It's also, unfortunately, very hard to imagine the dramatic situation that we've experienced in the past few weeks will be reversed.
Winter is going to be here soon. What's going to happen to all the refugees?
situations perhaps where there's tent cities where the weather is more of a problem. A lot of these people have been absorbed into the local Armenian community in Armenia, in people's homes, in family homes, in hotels paid for by the governments, and those that haven't are in the process of doing so. But those are just short-term remedies. In the longer term, these people are going to need jobs, the children are going to need schools, they're going to need to rebuild their lives. And that's a very long road for these people ahead of them.
So Armenia and Azerbaijan are longtime enemies. They were at war as recently as 2020. How will the collapse of Nagorno-Karabakh, how will it affect their relations? Could this prompt another war?
I mean, it could, and there are lots of concerns in Armenia right now that an emboldened Azerbaijan with the military initiative, having kind of used military force to take over Nagorno-Karabakh, will press forward and will perhaps seize some Armenian territory in an attempt to connect up some areas of its country. And so that's a real concern here. There's also concern about political instability inside Armenia. The Prime Minister of the country has been harshly criticised by opponents, saying he mishandled this process, this whole situation. Russia also has failed to live up to its security guarantees. So it's a very volatile situation in this unstable region. Jake.
Thank you so much for doing this report. CNN's Matthew Chance in Armenia. Really appreciate it. Coming up next, on to another part of the world and an incredibly daring assignment for another CNN journalist.
I served in the Army for 11 years and deployed overseas.
Let's deal with the stragglers, shall we? I think that was the last of them.